So I've been seeing these one pot meals pop up on the internet for years now, but the truth is I generally don't cook with just one pot at a time. Usually when I'm in the kitchen, I've got a few pots and pans going at once, but you know I love ease, you know I love simplicity, and there's nothing easier than throwing a bunch of things into one pot and getting something delicious on the other side. So today what I'm gonna be doing is trying out the most viral meals on TikTok, and I've scrolled through thousands of these recipes, really looking for the ones that are intriguing, the ones that really stand out, so I can test these in real life to see if the one pot meals live up to the hype. So if you do a quick search on TikTok for one pot meals, most of them are pastas. I would say 90%, but 99% of those I'm not interested in. We're talking throw a bunch of stuff in a pot with zero technique and add a bunch of cheese and like you've got gooey goodness, and I guess that works on TikTok. But for me, I'm scouring for those hidden gems. And I did find one pasta dish that is more refined, that has more technique, that I'm very interested in. And it's this lemon pasta by the Pasta Queen. This is an Italian woman that I'm pretty sure just does all pasta on her channel. She's pretty popular. This video has 1.8 million views.
Welcome to the lemon Tempress. Ingredients. I created an infusion with the leaves and peels of lemons. Leave it overnight off the fire for maximum essence. Use this lemon.
I've never seen that, an infusion with the leaves of the citrus.
Water, a drizzle of olive oil and salt to cook the spaghettini softly, adding more essence water as necessary until fully al dente. Toast the zest and sprinkle provolone cheese so it becomes essentially divine, just like you are. Twirl it lovingly and crown it, stare at it, and call it just gorgeous.
I mean, that is a gorgeous pasta. Creamy, it's only a few ingredients. Now, I've done simple pastas, but nothing quite like that, so we're gonna give it a try. Simplicity, sometimes the key to good cooking. Most of the time, actually. And this pasta, we've got cheese, lemon, and spaghetti. I mean, 3 ingredients, that's insane. And really the key factor is taking a lemon and just using it to its ultimate capacity. So the first thing we gotta do is this lemon essence water, I believe she was calling it, which I actually did last night by filling up a pot about halfway with water. Now she used lemon leaves. I couldn't find the leaves to the lemon, but I did find leaves attached to this mandarin orange. And then I'm just cutting off the outer zest of the lemon. I'll put that in the pot, bring it up to a boil like she mentioned. And then once it's boiling, turn that off the heat and just let that sit and infuse all night long, which gives me this beautiful essence water right here. Now the funny thing about TikTok videos is generally they're so short that you don't get many details, but that's the way I cook anyway. It's kind of figuring things out on your own. So we've got no ratios, but that's fine. I'm gonna pour in all of this. Well, I'll reserve some of the essence like she mentioned. Bring that up to a boil and add some spaghetti. Probably add, I don't remember if she added that before it was boiling. Let me check. Well, I'm happy I checked because I missed 2 ingredients. A little bit of salt to cook it softly, I think she said. And some nice olive oil in there. My pot is not quite big enough, but eventually these will bend. It definitely makes sense to use spaghetti for this technique because it's so thin that you don't need that much water. So you can ultimately cook this down to get that nice starchy liquid. That is some lemon essence water. It smells incredible already. So we're getting close to, look how starchy that is. That's wild. But when I taste one of these, we're not even close yet. We'll definitely need the rest of this essence water. Oh, not the leaf. All right, so now we're getting there. Almost at that perfect tenderness, and that starchy water is looking wonderful. The last thing is some lemon zest right on there. I'll save a little for the top like she did. And then I did get a nice aged piece of provolone. Grate that right in. Yeah! I don't think it even needs any salt. Wow, so simple. Check out the creaminess on this. And I can smell the release of that lemon zest now. But the sauce is just mostly starch and a little bit of cheese. Love it. Damn, I don't have a ladle to do that spinny thing. Maybe this will work? Probably not. Oh, this is a disaster. Not gonna happen, my friends. We're twirling a little bit. We're twirling. Lemon zest right on top. That is a thing of beauty right there. And I purposely did not try the final product because I've never had a pasta quite like this. And I wanted that element of surprise. You know, when you start your cooking journey, a lot of times you're just adding more, trying to increase the flavor. And then as you get a little better, your technique improves, you start removing as much as possible. And this is, oh, it's the perfect example of that. The simplicity is almost what makes this addictive. You can taste every single ingredient. This is the first time I made it. I was filming, wasn't perfect. I know what I can improve, but I love how simple it is, all made in one pot. This one certainly gets the Pro Home Cook's seal of approval. All right, now after pasta, the second most popular one-pot recipe is chicken and rice, which makes a lot of sense because you can cook the chicken, dump in some veggies and the rice, and you've got an entire meal all in one pot. A lot of chicken and rice dishes, especially on TikTok, I have no interest in. But I did find something very interesting by Alejandro from the NanaJoe19 TikTok account, and this video has 7.2 million views, so something went off, and we're about to find out why.
Let me show you guys how to make a quick one-pot meal. Now, this is a meal that we would always make when we were broke in the house. It's also a recipe that my suegra taught me. So we're gonna season.
First of all, I think she said she was in the house, and am I seeing like rain or snow or something? I think she's outside actually.
Up some chicken legs, and we're just gonna sear them in a whole lot of oil. And note to self, remind me to throw away these damn pinzas because they don't work for shit. They don't grab anything. Like, I'm burning.
Yeah, you got to get yourself some like solid tongs. Whenever you're buying kitchen utensils, rather than getting a $5 pair, invest $5 more or $10 more for the $15 pair, and it's gonna last you like 7 more years.
While that chicken is browning, in my molcajete, I'm going to add salt, cumin, whole peppercorn, and garlic. And then I'm going to make it into a paste, but you can also just put this in your blender. I do it this way because my suegra does it this way. Once I turn this into a paste, I just add a little bit of water just to make...
That paste is what I think is most interesting about this recipe. I've never seen that with the chicken and rice.
Sure, I get everything off the molcajete. Once we have a nice sear on our chicken, we're going to remove it. And on that same grease, we're going to brown up some rice. And just remember, we're only searing that chicken because it's going to finish cooking with the rice. Once that rice is browned, you're going to add the chicken back into the rice. Then you add that paste you made in the molcajete or in your blender. You're also going to add your water. I'm also going to add some cut up potatoes and some cut up carrots. I should have added some tomatoes and jalapenos here, but I had gone to the grocery store like 47,000 times and I forgot them every single time. Add some chicken bouillon for flavor, and then you're going to mix everything together, make sure everything is well incorporated. Let this come to a boil, then you cover and simmer for about 25 minutes until everything is cooked. When my suegra first showed me this recipe, she swears this is my husband's favorite, even though my husband denies it. And that's incredible. It, guys. Now it's...
So again, for chicken and rice, I think there's just a few elements of this specific version that elevates it past a lot of the other ones I've seen. So I'm interested in trying it out and seeing if it really holds up to her husband's opinion. And since she was cooking outside in the rain or snow, let's take a little trip to the outdoors. All right, I'm in my garage, close enough. It snowed again, so it's like 5 degrees warmer in here. And the truth is, the best time to whip out a one-pot meal is when you are in the outdoors. When I'm camping, it's generally just a bunch of things going in one pot and trying to make something delicious. So the first thing is to get your pot or pan preheated. Oops, I should probably take all that out. I love recipes that take advantage of drumsticks because you got to get a little more creative with them. They're not always the easiest to work with, and I'm just going to get them nice and salted. Oil in the pan, get them browning. Now she had some more seasoning on her drumstick, but I think salt is fine because we're about to make a spice mix. Now we've got our mortar and pestle, some peppercorns here, and cumin seeds. She had a whole bunch of salt in there. And then I'm going to go with 2 cloves of garlic. Smash, pop those in. Start smashing. This paste, that's what got me excited to try this dish. That is like the ultimate Mexican flavor blast. And these are browning up really nicely. Give them a flip, let them cook for a little longer. She did mention just pouring a little bit of water in there just so that all releases. Oh yeah. Got a few carrots, chop those in half and just give them a rough chop. Boom. Got a few yellow potatoes already peeled. I'm gonna dice those pretty small so they cook evenly with the carrots. Now, these are beautifully crispy, nice and brown. I'll remove those. Now she went right in with some rice. I'm going about a cup, just eyeballing it. And I like this because you're frying off that rice and all of that delicious aromatic chicken oil. Now you know what? Rest of the rice going in. Now while that's toasting up, she did mention she forgot to add green pepper and tomato. So I figure why not go all the way? She forgot in the market, but I didn't. So I'll just chop those up real quick. A little bit of jalapeno. Everything's pretty rough in this dish, which I like. We are outdoors. And then I'll slice these cherry tomatoes in half. But I'm sure canned tomatoes would work great as well. There you go. Look at that toasty, toasty rice. These are the little techniques that add a ton of flavor to your final dish. Even though it's one pot, we're building layer after layer of flavor. Speaking of, one thing I'm gonna do, I always prefer to just give my tomatoes a little cook to break them down, to emulsify them into the dish. All right, here we go. Everything goes in. Chicken legs, veggies, cumin, garlic, black pepper paste. Oh yeah. Still a little bit in there. More water. No flavor loss. So in the TikTok, she poured over water and added bouillon cube. I'm not a big fan of those things. I have some roasted chicken stock right here. Honestly, I'm sure water would be fine. There's already so much flavor in this dish. So I'll do the chicken stock. I think it needs a little more water. I'm just guesstimating ratios here. Hopefully that's not too much. We'll crank that up to a high heat. But the amount of flavor built from toasting the rice to making that paste, this is the perfect meal for snow day, and I'm very excited. Okay, we're already boiling. I'm gonna turn that down, lid it. Now there is one thing I disagree with. She took a bunch of cilantro just like this, but she threw it on there in the cooking process. And of course it wilted. For me, when it comes to fresh herbs, I like to keep them fresh. So I'm gonna chop that up and just garnish after. So I would say this is gonna be 20 minutes. I'll keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, probably go inside because I'm freezing. All right, I just cleaned up and warmed up. I'm guessing it's been 12 minutes. Oh yeah, so we've got a whiles to go. I'm actually gonna cook it with the lid off just to get some evaporation. Finish maybe the last few minutes with the lid on. So you can see I've got it nice and reduced. I would say the rice is just 2-3 minutes away. So I'm just gonna finish it, the lid on, and we'll serve it up in like 2 minutes. I mean, talk about flavor. I've been looking for a good chicken and rice. There's a million on TikTok. This one was the only one that I saw that seemed exciting. I'm just gonna bite right into that. Certainly tender as all hell. My God, can't speak. The potatoes are perfectly cooked. If you cut them small, they'll be tender right along with the chicken. First of all, I'll just give this the Pro Home Cook seal of approval right away. The chicken absorbed a lot of that flavor, which I'm very happy about. It's absolutely delicious. And that rice is incredible. It's super aromatic. It's bright, it's salty. All right, well, that's that. Okay, now this next one is not a one pot meal. Technically, it's a one bowl meal. I mean, you could make it in a pot, but it caught my eye and I've never made anything quite like this. It's coming in from Dr. Jemmy from the Sweatin' in Pink TikTok account, and this has 1.4 million views. It's a very quick one, so pay attention.
Everyone's obsessing over the cheesy ramen hack, but I'm still hooked on these one bowl chili garlic noodles. So grab your dark soy sauce, black vinegar, minced garlic and ginger, green onions, crushed red pepper flakes, let it sizzle. Pour some hot oil over the top, mix it all together, and these are the best noodles you'll ever.
That's it. She didn't even finish her last few words. But these are those little gems you find on TikTok that are super simple, super quick. Again, I've never done a chili garlic noodle quite like this, and I think it really represents what you can do with one bowl in this case. Now this one, technically you just need a bowl, but since I'm gonna be heating up the noodles and the oil, actually you do need a pot because you're heating up the oil. I'm gonna use a sauce pot just like this, and I just need a few cups of water to heat up my noodles. A few slices. Looks like enough. Garlic, I think 1 fat clove should do. Just give it a slice, and then what you can do is combine your ginger and garlic and just rough chop through. And I would assume you would want this very fine because it's not getting cooked down. It's just getting heated up with the hot oil. I'm not taking any chances. That looks fine enough to me. And green onion. So you've got the holy trinity of aromatics. Just peel off the bad bits and slice these super thin. And perfect timing, my water is boiling. I'm using these rice noodles by Nona Lim. They are fresh rice noodles, but they do just need to be hydrated a bit heat it up. I'm gonna pop them in the boiling water just so they come back to life. Slide in my noodle bowl, put my noodles in there. And a little extra water's fine because it's just gonna add to the sauce. But what I will do is dump that off because I need to heat up my oil. What I got here, that is olive oil, coconut oil. I'm gonna go with grapeseed oil. It's neutral, it can handle a high heat because we gotta get this pretty jacked up to really perfume all those aromatics. And then what she did was some dark soy sauce. I just have regular soy, should be fine. I do have some black vinegar, a little bit of that. Chili flakes, hence the chili garlic noodles. All your aromatics. And then this is smoking, but what I'll do is I'll just drop in. Oh yeah, that's good. Pour in a little bit of oil. I don't know how much oil, but eyeball it. And then I'll stir. This is cool. I've never done anything quite like this. Oh yeah. You know, I thought it was gonna be way too much liquid when I added the vinegar and soy, but those hot noodles just completely absorbed all of that sauce. Now I do think it needs a little bit of fresh scallion on top as well. Just a little bit. Just like the pasta, we've got another really simple recipe, which makes sense in the world of TikTok. You only have so long to educate people. Whoa. Whew. That is super pungent, as you could imagine. Generally, when I'm making aromatic noodle dishes like this, the ginger, the garlic is gonna be a little more subtle. It's gonna be cooked in over time. This hits you hard, but I actually like it. It's different. I am sort of missing something more. Just the noodles and aromatics, I can imagine this getting a little bit boring over time, but overall really unique. I'll give it the Pro Home Cook's approval. So before we get into the last recipe, I wanted to briefly tell you about today's sponsor, Mizzen. And the driving force behind all of these one pot meals today is their stainless steel pots and pans. Now, I always recommend having at least one stainless steel pot or pan, even if it's just a saucepan, because they're gonna last you a lifetime and they're so versatile in the kitchen. And the beautiful thing about Mizzen is that they use the same materials as their competitors, but they're around half the price, which means you can finally get into the stainless steel game. Now, if you're new to stainless steel, Mizzen is great because you can shop a la carte for individual pots and pans without having to commit to a full set. Right here, this is all you need. This is my ultimate starter trio set. You pretty much can cook anything in the kitchen with these 3 pots and pans. So if you're interested in the stainless steel line or other Mizzen products, click the link below in my description. Use code word HOMECOOKS for 20% off your first order. Now back to another recipe. So before I did any research on TikTok for this video, when I thought of one pot meals, this thing right here, that's what came to mind. I feel like this is the antithesis of one pot meals on the internet. Before TikTok, like in the blog days, classic marinara tomato pasta, throw it all in a pot, add some water, let it cook down. I've never done it myself, but I did actually find it on TikTok coming in from Hip Foodie Mama 1. Let's see how it goes. It's another short one. Red pepper flakes, you've got basil, tomatoes, onions or shallots, garlic, spaghetti, olive oil. Now, let's see the big reveal. I didn't stop it. That's where it stops, okay? How insane is that? No water added. This video got 400,000 views and it's just ingredients sparkling and her adding olive oil to it. Let's check out some comments. There's a reason there's no after on this. A bunch of Italian flags, so there are a lot of Italians offended, of course. So I wanna try this. I wanna see if you remove all technique and you dump all of the classic marinara tomato sauce ingredients into a pot, what actually happens? All right, I prepared all of the ingredients, which you didn't need to see. I actually did this exact pasta in the first episode of the 15-minute dinner series. So in this case, we would definitely be caramelizing or sweating down these aromatics to build that foundation of flavor in our pasta. We're skipping that. And we're throwing in fresh basil and cooking that down for a while. So I'm a bit skeptical, but we're gonna try it anyway. So I used about half the spaghetti for the lemon pasta. I've got the other half for this, which works out great. So I would say about 8 ounces. Half a big shallot, 2 cloves of garlic, a bunch of cherry tomatoes, a bunch of basil. Now, I really don't know how much water to go with. I'm gonna guesstimate that was 2 cups. Definitely need more than that. All right, we're gonna go 4 cups of water. Full blast. All right, we just started to boil, so I should be able to get these noodles broken down a bit. There we go. Something about this already looks wrong. It does smell amazing though. Awesome aromas. And I'm leaving the lid off so we actually lose a lot of that liquid and we're left with more of a thick sauce from the starchiness of the pasta. All right, here's where we're at. We're about 6 minutes in. You really gotta keep it moving because because the pasta will stick to the bottom. It's definitely starting to reduce. Let me try a noodle just to see where we're at. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit. Add some salt, definitely needs flavor. And I'll just keep stirring and monitoring. Wow. Okay, we're just about there. And I've got some of that provolone from recipe 1. I'll give it a whole bunch of that. Gotta get a tiny bit of fresh basil in there too. All right, we are done. Creamy, that's for sure. All right, I got a better swirl this time. So before I try it, I will say one thing. Making this from start to finish wasn't necessarily quicker than your standard pasta where you boil the noodles on the side, you make the sauce, you dump it in, but it was so much easier. There's no fuss. And I think ultimately that's the attraction to a one-pot meal. It's just easy. It's less cleanup. You just dump things into a pot and you're good to go. But let's see what the taste is like. Okay. That's actually not bad. I was prejudging that a lot, thinking it would lack dimension, that it would be too much of one note, but even just adding a little bit of fresh basil on top, that helped brighten it up a bit. Oh my God, I just realized I forgot olive oil. Let me give it just a hit of olive oil right now. I think if you use really good ingredients, you can pull that off and it's decent. If this pasta right here is a 10 with the same ingredients, I would give this an 8. It's coming up a bit flat, a little one-dimensional, but it's not bad for chucking a bunch of things in a pot. So I gotta give it a Pro Home Cook seal of approval. That's 4 for 4 today. Everything I tried today was pretty solid, so thank you to those 4 TikTok creators who gave me some inspiration. If you wanna see me test out more viral TikTok videos, click here and also comment in below with other TikTok food trends, I guess you could call it, that you want to see me try out in another video. Adios.